Hey church, this is Vince Miller. Thank you so much for joining me for some more time in God's Word today. I think you're going to enjoy it. We're on this little trip through the Bible looking at this strip of land we know as the Gaza Strip or Gaza. And we're trying to understand this region or territory and its occurrences and people biblically so we can understand how to respond to what's happening in our world spiritually. Today, we're going to be in the book of Judges, looking at the next occurrence of Gaza. It's going to be Judges chapter 16, verses 1 through 3, and then jumping down to 21. We're going to look at one of the great judges, and his name was Samson. It reads, Samson went to Gaza, and there he saw a prostitute. Interesting. And he went in to lie with her, and the Gazites were told, Samson has come here. And they surrounded the place and set an ambush for him all night at the gate of the city. They kept quiet all night, saying, let us wait till the light of the morning, then we shall kill him. But Samson lay till midnight. Obviously, he probably got bored. And at midnight he arose and took a hold of the doors of the gate of the city and the two posts and pulled them up, bar and all, put them on his shoulders and carried them to the top of the hill that is in front of Hebron. Then later, obviously, we know he is captured, and then this happens. Verse 21. And the Philistines seized him and gouged out his eyes and brought him down to Gaza and bound him with bronze shackles, and he ground at the mill of the prison. So, fellas, in the Bible, Samson stands out as one of the most interesting and compelling leaders of God's people. He was a judge over Israel, but not the kind of judge that we're familiar with today. Biblical judges were divine leaders and military champions. So as a judge, Samson's purpose and mission was to initiate the deliverance of Israel from the people of the Philistines. So from his birth, Samson was uniquely appointed by God. As a Nazirite, he was consecrated to God, bound by certain vows, including one that prohibited him from cutting his hair, which was the covenant agreement behind his God-given gift of supernatural physical strength. But as we learned, Samson was far from perfect. He often used his divine gift for personal gains, showcasing many character flaws that would become his eventual undoing, which is what we read in that last verse. Now, it is in the territory of Gaza that Samson's flaws become more than apparent for us. Samson goes to Gaza, spends the night with a prostitute, clearly a severe lapse in judgment for him as a man of God. Then the Philistines, seeing this as an opportunity, set up an ambush to kill him, but using his divine strength, Samson escapes and tears off the giant gates to the city, carrying them up the mountain. Yet, this display of strength was not enough to cover for his other weaknesses. Eventually, in this territory, he reveals the secret to his great strength to a woman named Delilah, a foreign woman he loves and wrongly confides in. She betrays him and his secret to his hair and his vow of strength, resulting in his eventual capture. The Philistines cut his hair, gouge out his eyes, and imprison him. Now, guys, Samson's downfall in Gaza is just a reminder to us as believers. His downfall was not a lack of divine giftedness, but his selfish trust in his giftedness, which led him closer and closer to disobedience. Basically, his gifts became his undoing. His thought was he was invincible, which blinded him to his arrogance, leading him into disobedience to God. Now, I really think Samson's story is both inspiring and cautionary. On one hand, it's inspiring to see how God can bless a believer with incredible divine gifts, right? Samson was given enormous physical strength, which he used in leading and fighting against Israel's enemies. But his story also has a caution. It reminds us God's gifts can lead us as well into arrogance and selfishness. Samson failed to stay humble and obedient to God, leading to his eventual downfall. So as you pray today for your leadership, and even the leadership in Israel, ask God to apportion you and all his people with divine gifts. Pray that believers will rise up and use these divine gifts, being humble and obedient to God, because, well, God can still do incredible things with a humble and obedient man. I love you guys. I pray this blesses you. If it has, share it with someone else today, and I'll see you right back here again tomorrow.